What's up, everyone? It is another webinar for us today. We've got Webinar Wednesday. We are joined by Didi, Azaria with Workiz. We're going to talk about how to build $1 million business. Didi, thank you so much for jumping in with us today.
Hey guys, good morning.
So obviously, and we'll get into this further as we go into the webinar, but Workiz is an integration partner with CompanyCam. We've got a great relationship, and Didi's got great content here today with how to build $1 million business. With that, Didi, I'll turn it over to you. You've got control of the slides, and I'll interject if there's any questions from the audience. So if you guys do have questions, the Q&A down at the bottom of the screen is going to be where you want to push those questions. So ask away, and we will get those answered for you.
Perfect. So thank you very much, Michael. And hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Just to give you a little bit of a background story of why we're doing this today. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Have a lot of businesses behind me. I mean, the last 20 years. And today we wanted to share some of our proven strategies on how to build businesses, I would say multi-million-dollar businesses within your area and so on. So we're going to talk about my story a little bit, just to give you context. Why did I join a small company called Workiz? And we'll get right into the 6 proven strategies. So before we start, guys, and I want to give you some kind of a context and then a question. So at Workiz, we're running millions of jobs per month, and we looked at the data and we figured out that 70–80% of the jobs you guys are getting are starting with a phone call. And I'll get it afterwards, but I want to ask you a simple question today. Who here among the participants use their personal cell phone on the website? So basically, a client will call you. Would they get to the business phone or to your private phone? If you don't mind to answer, we will get to it in a few slides, and I'll explain why we're asking this question. Let's give you all a minute or two. So I want to give you some context, and again, we're going to get to it a little bit later. But guys, in today's world, communication is crucial. Most jobs are starting with communication and ending with communication. We also figured out, after analyzing a lot of reviews on Yelp and other websites, that most of your bad reviews are just, probably you guys don't have bad reviews, but the guys who do have bad reviews, they all start with communication. With he said, she said, with other anomalies within the data. And we got the results. We're going to get to them later on. So we have 36% are using their personal cell, and 64% are not using their personal cell. And that's a good number. I like to see that. Okay, moving on. Just to give you a context of why would I even have the nerve to give you guys some tips. I actually started as a locksmith. So 20 years ago, I was sitting in a van in LA, in a 405, in traffic, sweating as hell. And back in the days, we didn't have any GPS or mapping apps. We had the Thomas Cook guide. It was heavy and big. And anytime we needed to navigate, it took a lot to do a job. There were no cell phones 20–25 years ago, so we had to stop by, next to a payphone and just call the customer, figure out where they are, and so on and so forth. It was a shitty situation, to be honest with you. I wasn't that good in that, so after a few months, I just left and shifted to the high-tech industry. About 16 years ago, I founded a data analysis company called Sisense with 4 of my friends. just out of university. I'm probably a little bit better in coding and scripting than unlocking or rekeying. And building a business is very similar to building a startup. You need to have some kind of money put aside. You need to find clients. You need to grow. You need to. It's just like a roller coaster. And in our case, guys, we had it all. I mean, it was a crazy roller coaster. And at some points, I mean, after 4 years after we started, everything just crashed. I mean, it was 2008. We had no money. The markets crashed. And we had the tough decision to have. We thought about just ditching the company. Instead, not instead, but basically we thought to ourselves, before losing the company, let's do something, let's think about it. So we took, all the 5 partners took a vacation, I would say, to India. It was a cheap vacation. We sat on the beach in India for about 30 days. No keyboards, no screens, just talking to each other and thinking what's next. To be honest, this is one of the best recommendations I can give you. When things are getting tough, just step back, take a deep breath, and I can promise you that the next day will be much better. In our case, we got back, to the drawing board. Since coming back from India, we raised $200 million. The company, again, called Sisense, is bringing over $100 million on an annual recurring revenue. This is what we call a unicorn. This is $1 billion company. The company is now all around the world with 2,000 global customers and as I mentioned, 800 employees. But I got tired. I mean, I did everything and I wanted to maybe give birth again to another startup. So after 16 years, I left to be the CEO of Workiz. Many people have asked me, this question many times before. Why would you leave such a successful business and start all over again? So to be honest, guys, I was always passionate about helping small businesses. I mean, I had a small business back in the days, and I understand the challenges. I understand how technology can help you guys to thrive. The Workiz guys, you can see them here in the picture next to me, were also field service guys. I mean, these guys had a service business in San Diego for more than 10 years. They did very well. They had a few dozens of technicians all around the West Coast. And they got to a point where they got so successful that somebody gave them an offer they could not refuse. And after exiting this company, they thought to themselves how we can help other field service professionals to do as well as we did. So I met the guys, and we connected immediately. We both groups, me and the founders, want to help this great field service industry to thrive, and we do believe it will play a major role also in the near and the far future of the US economy. So what is Workiz? Again, not selling you the software, just to give you context, because we're going to talk about it in the next few slides. We're field service management and communication software used by tens of thousands of service pros all across the United States and Canada. With Workiz, you can basically do jobs, schedule. You have a complete communication system attached to the software, and many of our clients are from the construction industry. Basically, our goal is to turn service pros into business professionals. And let's get right to why you all came here for today. So 6 proven strategies to get results. First one, guys, standing out. And I know most of the points you're going to hear today are going to be, oh, of course, we knew that. But listen carefully, because some of these points can change your business forever. I can promise you that. So what do I mean by standing out? So let me give you the first example, Workiz. Workiz name beforehand was send a job. It was a normal, I mean, it was a good name, but a normal name. Nothing was standing out. We changed the name to Work is Easy. Why? Because we wanted people to understand that we make work easy. Think about your name. Does it stand up for something? Think about what makes you unique. Does it tell your story? I mean, if you have a construction business or you're a roofer, okay, what makes you very unique? Do you hire only veterans? Do you serve only the elderly? So one of our partners at Workiz, it's a big franchise of a handyman group. What they do is they serve only older people. So if you're above 60, you're probably a good fit for them. And this is how they became that successful. They have more than 100 franchises all around the States. Think about what makes you unique and put it within your name, within your message, and tell everybody that that's what you do. Because you can be a constructor, you can be a roofer, but not everybody can say that they are doing roofing just for veterans or construction only for elderly. Another thing I want to point out that standing out, it's not just by what you say you do, it's by what you actually do. For example, uniforms. I mean, you come with the uniforms, but guys, I know it's challenging time. We have the COVID. Not everybody wants to spend all this money on uniforms or branded car, but just it's the little things, guys. Just keep the hat with the logo. It will keep your crew, it will keep your technicians much more engaged. Your customer will see the hat with the logo. They will feel that they are working with a professional company. Keep that in mind. And you know, being a professional is not just that. If you have, let's say, a superior communication plan, for instance, you know, if you're going to call AT&T, I'm not sure it's the best example, but calling AT&T or any other big company, you will get into a phone system that asks you if you want a service, if you want to support, if you want just to complain about something. And this communication system will basically guide you through, as a consumer, through a set of options to get to the right person as fast as you can. And if you have, doesn't matter if you use Workiz or other system, if you have this kind of communication system, your customer will see you as more professional. They will recommend you to others, and their expectations from you are going to be higher. That's a good thing always. Remember, deliver always on what you promise. Never overpromise and under provide. It's going to get you a bad review for sure. I mean, let's refer back to the phone question. So just to give you an idea, 36% of you mentioned that they're using their personal phone number as for their business. And this is a huge mistake, guys. Just to give you an idea, somebody's calling your phone and it's an unknown number. I mean, how do you answer? Hey, this is Joe the roofer. Hey, this is Didi the locksmith. Or you're just going to say, like you do with your friends, hey man, what's up? And answering, hey man, what's up? That's unprofessional. So having a separate phone number, phone system from your personal life, first it's going to give you your life back. That's very important. Okay, we're going to get to it very soon. But secondly, it will allow you to answer in a more professional way. And when somebody is calling a roofer or a plumber, they want to hear, hey, this is Joe the plumber, how may I help you? They don't want to hear, hey man, what can I do for you? We saw, by the way, we analyzed our data, and anybody who does that get less cancellations, okay, they trust you, get better jobs, and can actually charge more. Crucial, separate your business phone than your personal phone. We also figured out, by the way, that about 44% of the new customer, I will call them the millennials, they prefer to book online. And most of us actually like to speak to somebody over the phone, specifically if it's an emergency. But if I'm just a millennial or maybe other guys that just want to book something, use online booking, use chatbots on your websites, because you're missing about 30% of the business out there. People like to chat, they don't have time to speak over the phone, and have a branded chatbot or a branded booking item. Let's move to the next point, guys. Building your network. Now, what do I mean when I'm saying building your network? It's a very granular claim. So building your network is all about getting the word out there. So standing out is giving yourself some unique characteristics, but building a network is actually taking these characteristics and start speaking to others about it. The first thing I want you to understand about building your network is give first and get second. What does it mean? Let me give you a scenario. You're doing a job right now, and next to you there is a plumber. And you ask the plumber, hey man, what's your name? Yes, create conversations, even if you're busy. And this is Joe the plumber. Hey Joe, what's up? You know, I'm doing a handyman jobs only for elderly people. Great. Now he knows what's your name and what you do. Okay? Get his phone number, get his business card. Because next time when you do another job, okay, and somebody asks if you can recommend a plumber, you're gonna get the Joe the plumber phone number, and you're gonna refer them to him. Believe it or not, this guy will never forget about you, and every time he needs a handyman or a roofer, he will call you back. This is what we call, you know, good karma. You give and then you get. And leads, guys, are the most expensive thing in a business. We're going to discuss it later about marketing and how to optimize marketing, but create a network that provides, you provide, and then you get. And that's you know, across our experience, and we have dozens of years of experience, we always see this simple task work like charm. The second item is use social networks, and I know everybody is telling you open a Facebook page and post over there, but I'm not talking about that, guys. And this is actually related a lot to the CompanyCam application, guys. Use before and after pictures. Okay, use CompanyCam. They're doing an amazing work, and they have an amazing feature that does that. But why do you need the pre-event post? Of course, once you do that, your technicians and yourself, of course, you have great pride in what you've done. But it's not only for that. When you socialize, when you do, I don't know, you do 2, 3, 4, 6 jobs a day or a week, doesn't matter. Just create yourself a task before the job and after the job to take a picture, then publish the pictures in Facebook and Instagram and so on, and tag the owner, of course, upon their you know, approval. Tag the owner, ask your group to share it, and 2 to 3 times a week you will slowly see that your brand is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this kind of network you cannot buy in money. You need to work very hard for that. I mean, don't do it if you only intend to do it once. I mean, do it methodologically, and do it every time, before and after the job. Same thing goes for association or a group. Associations are, I mean, it's clear if you're a roofer, join your local roofing association. That's great. But you also have small businesses associations. I know that COVID here with us today, you don't meet too many people, but there are online groups that can help you. And again, give to these groups and get back. Tell this group your story, who you are, why you're doing that. Give this group some free stuff, and they're gonna give you back. Karma is always providing. Okay? Create your own community through brand. That's of course obvious. When you have a Facebook page and you have a good story, a community is starting to grow around you and tell your story. A good story is always selling better than anything else, even better than you know, an amazing roof or an amazing construction work. Next topic, we discussed it, you know, in one line item, but let's talk about marketing, guys. Marketing is the most expensive thing in a business. In my business, we're paying a lot for leads, and I guess that many of you are actually advertising these days. But what we usually tend to forget is to be data-oriented, just to understand the numbers. I mean, when was the last time you tracked your calls? I mean, if you do click to call, for instance, how do you know if one ad is providing better results than other? And if marketing is the most expensive thing in your business, how come you're not measuring that? Think about it. Just buy 2 phone numbers. You can do it at Workiz and in other systems, of course. Just put two different phone numbers in different ads and then measure them. With us, you can actually see the ROI in the same day. You can see how much money you spend and how many jobs, successful jobs, or how much money you got into the business. And always optimize. Being a data-oriented person is challenging. Why? Because it takes time. But if you spend most of your budget on marketing, this is the most important thing you can do every day. You can do it every day, you can do it every week, but do that, okay? Another thing, have a pipeline, guys. Every business must have a pipeline. And, you know, standing out and building your network is actually the first step of building your pipeline. It's not all about marketing, and a free lead is still a lead. Okay, so your goal is to look at your business as a pipeline. You bring leads in, and then some of them are asking for estimates. Okay, you need to just track it down. So you have 10 leads, 8 of them are actually asking for estimates, but only 2 of them are going to become your customers. Understand the numbers. Okay, it's also part of being data oriented. If you have 10 leads and only 1 is going to be, the estimate is going to be 1, so you have 10% conversion rate. If you understand that, you will understand how many leads you need to bring to your business every time. And you need to understand how much you need to grow every time, or how many technicians you need to hire. Okay, this is crucial. Understand your pipeline, understand your win rate. And of course, if you can use a system, a scheduling system to do that, that's going to save you a whole lot of time. You need to utilize ad tracking, as I mentioned. If you're advertising, the worst thing you can do is just, you know, spray and pray. It doesn't work, guys. You're going to lose a lot of money. Use tracked phone numbers and connect them to your scheduling system or any of your job system. Another thing that we always see, I mean, specifically when you market, when you pay for leads a lot of money, if you're not going to offer an excellent customer service, just don't do that. People understand how professional you are over the phone. And if you pay per click 20, 40 bucks, and you're not going to answer the phone in a professional way, you're not going to have a good phone system behind the scenes to support that, just don't advertise. You're missing out. And we can clearly see in our data, we have thousands of clients all across. The guys who are actually data oriented, they're growing their business months over months, year over year, and they're not making $1 million business, of course. They're making tens of millions or even more. Okay, they're making $1 million a month. When you market yourself in the right way, you can gain much more than you think. Okay. Another thing about marketing, many of our clients will repeat themselves. So just create a habit, guys. When you're done with a job, send them an SMS. You can use an automated system like Workiz. I mean, to send an automated SMS. You liked our job. Please review us. You didn't like, get back to us. Our system, by the way, is 2 ways. So your client can actually send back the SMS to you, and you can chat with them. But do it automatically. And if you're going to do it automatically and systematically, you will see that those reviews, going to get you more clients. Remember, marketing is not just about money spent. It's about the amount of work you put into each work, the before and after pictures, the review us pictures, and so on and so forth. But you must do it consistently. Don't do it just once and say, oh, it didn't work, the guy didn't review us. It's very important to understand it. Do it every time. And the only thing you change, guys, is the text. Change the text. Maybe you can review us. This is how we thrive as a business. Please help us to grow. Review us. I mean, we use some different texts, and you will see that these tests are usually successful. But again, be consistent and measure yourself.
Hey, Didi, real quick. We just had it's a statement come through, but it was talking about tracking of job origination. And if they book online, how can you track, you know, where it originated from? So I don't know if that's something you want to, you know, speak
absolutely.
to.
It's an easy answer. So, I mean, if you're using an embedded booking online, so in our case, I mean, many of the field service software have them, but make sure that you can embed it within your website. And once it is embedded within your website, we can basically take the parameters from the ad and basically get them into the job. So that's what we do at Workiz. Every job is being tracked by the phone number and how it's originated. So whether it's a chatbot, and of course the URL, booking online and the URL, and of course the phone number, which is related to the ad itself. It's a very good question. Guys, every job must have the job source. If not, you will not be able to understand how much money you're making for each of your initiatives.
Absolutely. And I would just even add, you know, if you're familiar with CompanyCam and you see all of the tens of hundreds of ads that we're running on Facebook and YouTube and all of those things, they've all got that UTM that we're going to be able to track specifically what ad and where did they get that from. So it's definitely possible to be tracking those things, and it's very important so that you can see, hey, what ads are performing well, what ads aren't performing well, you know, what platforms are performing well. So sorry for jumping in, Didi, I'll let you go back to it, but I wanted to get that answered.
No, that's a great question. Keep coming, keep them coming. A great story about it, by the way. We have a customer, one of our old customers, and what they're doing is basically advertising, but they also do flyers, paper flyers. Mm-hmm. And he was amazed to realize that the paper flyers, which cost him friction of online ads, are actually, the ROI over there are 10 times more than any advertisement over there. So he just stopped Google altogether, and he's just doing flyers in his small town. This guy is running one of the most junk removal businesses ever. So I know some of you may do that. For some businesses, it's not a great idea, but just think about where you can place phone numbers that you can track, and you will instantly see, I guess, after a few days, how much you're spending for each of them and what is the ROI for each of them. That's crucial for a business. Number 4, increase your revenue. Now, many of us are working in the field and we do exactly the same thing all the time. So if you're a roofer, you're going to do roofs. That's great. Construction, you're going to do construction work. But think about it, if you want to grow, and I guess that, CompanyCam is doing it, we do that too at Workiz. We always think on how to expand our business. What kind of relevant items we can add in order to upsell. So in our case, we join forces with CompanyCam. Basically, each of us is upselling on top of the other. We are upselling on the phone system. It's integrated, but still we're upselling on that. And think about your business, what you can do across your network, across the people that you work with, across the software that you work with, and how you can make more money. And I'll give you some examples. For instance, Workiz is providing a referral program. If you're gonna send us a customer that will buy, you're gonna get between $200 to $800 per one customer. This is how much it's worth us. And we'll be more than glad to pay this for you. But that's one example. Think about the software that you guys are using these days and look for the referral programs. Your friends and the guys that you work with and your colleagues, in the construction site and so on, are looking for solutions, and they're looking for the recommendations. You can actually make a lot of money from referral programs. Referral programs are all over the place, and just take the weekend, an hour or two, look at the software that you guys are using. Don't recommend something you don't like. And you can make a whole lot of money out of it. Some of our customers can make, an extra paycheck every month just from doing that. Okay? Leads cost you a lot of money. Find other ways. Okay? It's not just increasing revenue, but it's also reducing your spend. So think about other ways to advertise, whether it's a bench or a flyer or whatever. Okay? Think about a referral program for your business. Ask for referrals. Okay, we talked about it before. If your clients will refer you, will give you a good review, you suddenly make make more money, but you spend less money. But once you spend less money, you can actually invest more in your business, and that's a pure revenue down the road. Create partnership. You can find interesting partnerships. So if a construction guy always needs a roofing guy, just connect with them. And I don't know how. I guess that most of you are doing it anyway. I mean, take 10%, 50%, whatever you guys take for referral, but start creating your referral network. And this referral network can benefit you a lot. And of course, there are more items. I don't know. Michael, do you have any ideas on how to increase revenue as a small business?
I love the referral, building those relationships. I think that's the biggest thing. And it's something to realize that it's not going to be every time and it's not going to be instant, but don't get away from doing it. Build that raving fan every single time, or attempt to build that raving fan every single time, and have faith that over time they're going to pay off. It might be years down the road and somebody says, I need XYZ done at my property. And if you built that raving fan, they're still going to remember you, and they're going to say, oh, you need to call Didi. He's the guy that's going to be able to do that for you. And so that's really what, there's lots of little things, but build as many meaningful relationships as you can. And I think that they're going to pay off in the long run.
Absolutely. Now I'm gonna take you to a whole different aspect of the business, and we see it all over the place. In the startup industry, in the small business industry, and this is the hiring process. Guys, you need to understand that hiring is probably the most important and the most expensive thing in your business. Finding technicians is challenging. We know that. We speak to our customers all over the place. A good technician is very hard to find. You build this business on, with your 10 fingers, and you want it to succeed. So you want to hire great people. In order to hire and train well, you need to do a few things. And again, it's very persistent. So bear with me. Many of the things you probably do, but let me give you some tips on how to master hiring and training. You need to understand that retention is the key to a successful business. Guys, retention means that you invest in your technicians, you invest in your employees, you invest in them so they can feel belong to the business. You keep on training them. When was the last time you took your team into a training day? And I know, yes, it costs money. You don't do any jobs in that day. So make it 2 hours. You need to understand that people that you train, they like you, they're liking the business because they're growing with the business. Don't think about moving on. Okay? A guy that is leaving you, a churned technician, means one thing, except from lost jobs. You need to find a new guy. You spend a lot of time to interview guys, and you spend a lot of time to train them. So don't lose guys, okay? And have an understanding that there is, of course, some benchmark of retention. Let's say in the startup industry, we usually see 10% if you're not doing anything. If you're doing everything right, you might see 10% churn. Understand what is the churn rate in your business and plan ahead for that, okay? Understand how long it takes to get somebody onboarded. Because if you're going to lose a guy, how much time you guys are going to spend on training a new guy, okay? And plan ahead. Create a training program. Don't just get to these guys and join me to the next job and you learn the job during doing that. A training program is much more than the job itself. It's how you answer the phone, guys. When was the last time you trained your technicians on how to speak to a client or how to ask for a review? These things are crucial. And if you have them, in an Excel file or just in a task list, ordered by day, this is what you do in day 1, this is what you do in day 2. Your technician is going to appreciate it. They're going to be much more professional. And remember, we're going to get back to the stand out. Okay, you're going to stand out. How do you stand out? By being professional. How you become professional? Your technicians are your face. Okay, it's not you. You're doing an amazing job. Your customers love you. How do you make your technicians have the same experience, give the same experience for your customers? Okay, have an organized hiring process. Understand who you're looking for, what type of person. If you're hiring veterans, put it in the ad. Okay, we're looking for people, for veteran people. Okay, whatever. What makes you unique? Tell your story. when you look for somebody, tell your story. It's not just for your customers, it's also for your technicians. If your technicians can tell the story, again, they tell the story, the customer tells the story, and then you have another great review. Okay, this is crucial, guys. Just take some notes and do it starting tomorrow morning. Last item, guys. We thought about, you know, what kind of ideas we can give you in this, you know, the environment is changing, and the pace of the change is getting faster and faster, and it's not just technology, it's also you know, the COVID. And we understand that most of you are struggling in so many ways, and many of the businesses, at least that we work with, are thriving these days, whether it's locksmiths and other businesses. But in general, you need to adjust. And I'm going to give you some examples on how we adjusted, and maybe some ideas on how to adjust to a changing environment of what we see from the consumers. When we realized that you know, you need to keep social distancing, we thought how we can contribute back to the community at Workiz. So we added the Zoom integration to as a free tier for all of our customers. Basically, instead of doing you know, an on-site estimate, you can just create a Zoom meeting from within the app and basically do a video meeting. I mean, you don't need to care if these guys have an iPhone or an Android. The Zoom meeting work with everybody. This is the platform that you're using right now. And consumers are less happy about meeting you face-to-face. You need to realize that. So get an online estimates. I mean, use Workiz, Zoom, or whatever to have that. You can also provide online support. You're done with the job, guys, just, you know, and somebody's calling you to ask you, how do I handle this? What happened here? Just use the video conversation to your benefit. Consumers will love it. Your customers will love it. You can also get paid for online consulting. If everybody at home, you know, and cannot get out, and they don't want to meet you, I don't know, they're in isolation right now for 14 days, just ask them if they want an online consulting, and you can charge for it. Many businesses that I know personally just switch their state of mind and explaining people how to fix stuff and taking between 50 to 100 bucks just for an online video conversation. I know I would pay for that, and many of us would do too. And of course, we talked about, you know, the pictures. Videos today are a huge tool. So share before and after videos, not just before and after pictures. People love to see videos. People are on Instagram, on Facebook, and other social network. And video, as far as what we can see, this is definitely where to be next. So think about how to innovate in your business, how to change according to all these crazy rules that are coming every day. And I wish you all, I mean, the best time, you know, just take care of yourself and take care of your customers. I mean, wear masks and make sure that the customers understand that you're keeping them safe throughout these crazy times. That's it from my perspective today. If you have any questions, I'm here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Didi. If you do have questions, we can get them answered now. You can reach out. I'm trying to think. I know we had our contact information there in the very first slide. Maybe we'll stay on this slide for a minute, Didi, and then we can always jump back to that first slide before we sign off. If they have questions for either of us, we would be more than happy then to answer those. Doesn't look like there's any questions coming in yet. We'll give it a few seconds here. But there's both of our contact information. Feel free if you have questions for either of us.
I'm getting a question from one of our customers in our chat. They're asking, I mean, what kind of benefits do they have for integrating a phone system with service software? Because many of the service industry business, I mean, that uses a business phone, have a separate system. So again, the goal here is not to sell Workiz, but in general, having an integrated system means that you can track everything. I mean, you don't pay for something you never use or you never log into. We have many customers that have a separate system they never log into. It's recorded and everything is great. But when you have everything logged in, the job itself, like the call recording, the SMS, all the interaction with the client, there is no he said, she said. There is no, no unknowns in the data. We've been speaking about training. What we use, at least from our perspective at Workiz, when somebody's recording a call, you can actually train your technicians to be better. How do you do that? You listen to their phone calls with their customers, and you basically tell them, guys, be nicer. Offer an additional services, offer, I don't know, whatever you guys are offering. And if you don't do that, basically you're missing revenue because you work in commission or whatever, what have you. Also for your dispatchers. We see good dispatchers and bad dispatchers within the business. I mean, and if you know how to train your dispatchers, it's all about training, okay? So if you can train your dispatchers, they can make twice as good as any other person. Listen to their calls and help them, okay? They're not just not great. You just didn't invest much time in training. And every training results better revenue as a result. This is why you need an integrated system. This is how you can see, okay, what kind of call was that? And how much money did I make from this call? And you can aggregate that. And you can, data is important, of course, in this sense. Another question from our guys on how does the integration of CompanyCam works? It's basically you sign in with CompanyCam and it's a single item at Workiz, and then all your jobs are just any job that you start with CompanyCam is going to pop up at Workiz too. And anything you're going to do in CompanyCam is basically going to go through your job flow in at Workiz too.
Yeah, a couple of questions. We had one come in, and then I actually have a question as well. What are your thoughts on, because you were talking about, how much money goes into training and onboarding and hiring new people. And so obviously retention is very important. I'm also a big believer in hiring slow. How do you feel about, constantly having open positions where you can be interviewing to find good candidates? So that way, when you do have that turnover at some point in time, that it's not quick to make a rush decision. And, because I think if you don't hire the right candidate, then you're going to have turnover anyway. And so what are your thoughts on that? Is it important to be continually interviewing people for positions?
Absolutely. I mean, many of us think, but I don't have any open positions. Why would I do that? First, you might find your star, and we do see across the board. I mean, that we have technicians that their closing rate are much higher, and every job on average is much higher. You only need to find one star to understand what is the next hire, who's the next hire you need to bring. And guys, I understand. I mean, to find good guys, it's very challenging. To find a technician is very challenging these days. So keep hiring, that's crucial. And hiring slow, I mean, in some cases you just cannot do that. Your business is just too demanding, and then in many cases you service commercial, not just residential, and you need to service them. Otherwise, you're going to lose the contract. So you need to hire fast. But if you hire fast and you figure out it's not the right guy, fire fast. But if you can hire slow, that's a good idea. Figure out if this person is the best person, not just from technical perspective, also if he's a good human being, if they can be a good customer service. It pays back big time. Any investment in a good hire pays back more than what you can imagine.
Couple things here. Looks like a viewer would like you to add a tipping screen. I'm assuming that's in Workiz, to add a tipping screen. And then also, what's that?
Working on that.
Working on it. It's coming. And then how can I track phone calls that are coming in?
So as I mentioned before, basically you buy phone numbers. They go really, really cheap. And then for each ad or for each platform, you get a different phone number. Basically, at Workiz, you attach this phone number to a flow. You give this flow a name, and from that point, every job that is being created from this flow is being attached with the job source, which can be Facebook ad number 1 or Google ad number 3. Then later, the reporting are actually on top of that.
Absolutely. I think we've got all the questions, Didi. That was awesome information. I think there's a ton of gold there. One question that came up while we were live, I just answered it in the chat, was, will this be available for replay? Every one of our webinars is going to be available at companycam.com/webinars. So you can check that out. And then really appreciate your partnership and having you on today, Didi.
Amazing. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us today. Thank you, Michael. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you again next month for another webinar.
Bye-bye.